Hello everyone. Let me just check in. Let's have a look at my thread, see if I can see who's here. Good evening everybody. Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome. And this evening I wanted to hop on and let's just talk about this whole idea of what 5D is. Welcome guys, thank you for joining. We're going to be talking about 5D, what it is, 3D, 4D, 5D, all of the Ds. Some of us have been having conversations quite a lot lately about 5G as well, and I have some opinions on that, but we're not necessarily going to go into that kind of end of the discussion and end of the topic. Well, you never know what might happen. But basically here to reach out to all of you beautiful souls, and I know so many of you, if not every single one of you actually, is what I feel is more true. Every single one of you that's coming on here, that's been drawn and attracted to joining me on the live tonight, welcome everyone, that you are the same. We are the same. We are from the same soul tribe, or we are definitely a very, very, very similar vibration, like attracting like-minded, like-hearted, like-souled, beautiful beings. So I feel like this is going to be a little bit of a light worker party. And I was just wanting to check on here, actually, if I can add some people. Oh, invite friends. No, I'm trying to find out if I can invite people to come on and join me and co-host with me on my laptop here, and I'm not sure if I know how to do that. Anyway, this is completely interactive. I love you. Thank you for being here. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, definitely what's going to come out together now is what is fifth density, what is 5D, and ultimately what's really more important, no matter what labels or names we give it, that this is a time, if ever we needed one, for really strengthening our energy, our physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy, psychic energy, etheric energy, angelic energy, our whole presence, our whole energy field, and all that we are. And therefore raising our immunity to any kind of contaminants, whether that's a viral contaminant or a frequency contaminant or a thought contaminant, you know, those little thought demons getting in our heads. This is about raising your immunity to all of that. And really it's about coming home to you and who you really are. That's the bigger story of it. And it's very, very simple. And yet I have a feeling tonight, I actually couldn't sleep last night. I don't know about you guys. I'm feeling so energized at the moment, so massively energized, so inspired, so excited that I'm struggling to get to sleep at night. I'm not struggling, it's not the right word, but you know, I'm not sleeping until late at night because of just feeling what's going on right now. And I'm sure a lot of you are feeling a lot of that energy as well. We can be feeling a lot of that energy as fear energy, or we can feel that energy as something else. So I'm going to talk about those two things as well, and how we can all really, you know, plug in, power up, strengthen up, and see this part of time that we're going through, see it through, and understand what it's all about. And actually what always happens whenever I'm doing a webinar or I'm live or doing something, my dog always scratches at the door. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to let her in because otherwise it's going to be there the whole time. But it's great that you're all saying hi. So all of you, by the way, that are watching right now, just say hi, bring your presence, bring your energy. And I'm going to invite you a lot to kind of share your experiences here with us. Okay, just bear with me. Come on then. That's my little Gracie doggy. Okay, lie down, doggy. Lie down, Grace. Ooh, so I'm almost like, don't know if you can feel where my energy's at, but I'm like, is that excitement or is it? I'm almost bursting because I feel like this is such an amazing time. Now, there may be some people on here who are going, you know, Tara, this is not an amazing time. It's a really shit time and bad things are happening. And if you're one of those people and you're listening to this, then welcome. Maybe if you come open-minded, come open-hearted, you might hear something, or maybe not even words that maybe, you know, you can connect with logically, but maybe you might feel something which makes sense to you. And we have many intelligence systems in our body. Our logical cognitive mind is one of those intelligence systems, but we have our heart, we have our gut, we have our, you know, sexual intelligence, if you like, the womb, the prostate. We have these deeper intelligence systems. We have our physical matter has consciousness, has intelligence, body intelligence. We have psychic intelligence. We have so many different levels, emotional intelligence, lots of different, if you like, compasses within us that let us know when we're doing good and when we're not doing so good, like little gauges or energy compasses, and places from which we can dive into and receive great wisdom and have sources of intelligence within us. So perhaps the words are not maybe going to connect with your logical mind. Some of you, you'll just be like, oh, I don't get that, or that doesn't make sense, or that doesn't sound like a real thing. That's highly likely to happen during this call. And if that's you, it's okay. Just come open, see what happens, see what resonates in hippie language, and see if like you can feel something. Now, some of you, I doubt anybody drawn to come on this live with me and with all of us this evening is going to be going, actually, this is total crap and you're going to be a hater. And if you do, even if that's you and you hate this stuff, but you somehow are magnetized to being here and you just can't pull yourself away and you just want to hate over everything, then I'm also going to say to you, you're welcome. I love you, you know, but just, you know, be careful what you put out because you're likely to get it back at you. And, you know, I wouldn't want anything horrible to happen to you. I wouldn't want you to have any more stress in your life, you know, but sometimes people need a place to dump and a place to vent. Please don't do that. You know, we don't need that. We're here in a spirit of love, unity and oneness, and also of strengthening all of us together as each individual strengthens him or herself in her sovereign energy. Then we can also strengthen one another and come from that really empowered and amazing place. So that's what we're all about here. If that's really not for you, it's okay for you to leave. And so others of you on this live tonight, there's so many. I mean, you're all looking through all your names right now. Everyone say hi when you come in, so your presence is here and everyone can see you, that you're visible. Be visible, guys. Be visible in your light beingness. Some of you, I don't know exactly what I'm going to say. I haven't planned, but I've got a feeling that I'm going to say some things that might be a little bit out there. Some of you, when you hear what I'm going to share about what I'm going to share, you're going to be like, I totally get that. I totally feel that too. I totally remember that as well, Tara. Yep, we're the same. You're going to be like, bing, bing, bing. I'll basically be speaking on your behalf because we have a shared soul experience, let's say, or a shared consciousness experience. And I know that many of you, I just can feel it in myself right now, many of you watching this, that's going to be you. And then there's others of you that are going to be like, well, maybe I don't get that part, but I definitely get that part. And consciously you'll be like, yep, this is me as well. And I totally understand that. Some parts of the things I might share might be new on you, but they also, as you kind of receive it in, just staying open to receive something beautiful this evening, some validation of yourself and who you are, and maybe something I'm going to say tonight or that somebody else is going to share on this thread is going to remind you of something you've always known, but maybe you just forgot that you knew it. And then actually me saying it and me sharing something about myself and somebody else sharing about something about themselves is going to trigger that awakening, and you're going to be like, oh wow, that kind of resonates. Whether you get the full-blown visual with it or the full-blown, you know, cellular or memory, I don't know, but just stay open, because the more open you are and the more open I am, the more available we are to receive that which we truly are. We're available to receive the good stuff, that life wants to give us, okay? So it's a really good idea not to come blocked. Anybody here, you might be going, yeah, some of this resonates with me, I can connect to some of it, but some of it might just feel like really new. But I'm going to invite you just to feel your way through, because I'm definitely not saying that I know the truth of everything. I mean, I do, and so do you, right? We all have a truth compass inside of us. We all run on truth juice. It's basically the divine, the source, the creator, the life, God, Gaia, whatever word you want to put on it, universal intelligence, creator. We all run on that same truth, whether we realize it or not, however conscious we are or not conscious of it we are. It's true for every single person. That energy, that vibration is truth. And we can get closer to that truth by the words that we say and the awareness that we're open to in our perception. And sometimes we can get further away from that truth. And if we've been disconnected from ourselves for quite a long time, or your life up until recently, it's going to be a bit like that hide and seek game. You know, when somebody's trying to find you and you'll be like, colder, colder, because they've gone further away. And when they start coming towards you or they're finding you, like, warmer, warmer. And it means like, okay, you're getting warmer, you're getting closer to what the truth is. So I feel like all of us, we're just trying to do our best to express. I'm just going to try and do my best to express what feels like truth to me. I'm just going to be using my words. And for you, you're going to be able to feel how much of that feels warm, feels closer to your connection to truth. Okay? This truth is what matters. Us connecting to our own truth is what matters. And we all share that common truth and we all express it differently. And that's the beauty. It's one of the beauties of life, that we all do express that differently. So anyway, welcome again to just sharing this time together. And actually, let's all take some breaths together, because even though I can't see your faces, I can definitely feel your presence. And we can see each other's names, we can see the words that you're writing, and we can just right now, and even when people are kind of coming and going and then others are watching the replay of this, let's all just tune in together right now and just take a few really deep breaths into the body. Because there's such a lot of heightened energy, it's almost like we want to be like a funnel and allow it to come in and settle into our bodies. I recommend that you soften your head, your face, your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw, your mouth, your throat, and be open just to receiving the breath in like that, not tight and controlled, soft and surrendered. For a moment, let's just stop controlling life. Breathe into the tummy, breathe into the sacral. Feel it landing. Even the breath, light as it is, has a certain kind of gravity to it, has a certain weight. It comes in and down. You might just notice that. You just gently allow the beautiful soft caress of your breath and that air and that oxygen and that spirit that you are coming down into your body, reaching out, moving into every little particle in your physical body right now. And maybe you want to soften yourself, relax the spine, relax the bottom, relax the legs, relax yourself. Because the more soft you are and relaxed in the body, the more trusting, the more open, the more yielded you are, and the more receptive you are to receiving everything that you want to receive that's good stuff for you. And your breath, you really notice that when you soften your body, you get out of your control tower mind and just follow the breath in, like taking a slide, like wee, taking it in and down. Going with the breath deep, deep down into the very base of yourself. And letting that beautiful wave after wave of breath come in, wash up against each and every cell, every particle of your physical matter. It's like being kissed into life a million times over. Every little cell, every little particle being reawakened, reignited, kissed into consciousness, kissed into life. So you can really let yourself be the channel that you are for this incredible presence, your incredible spirit. Life, just life is a good enough word for me. Let life in. Let it into every part of you, and see if you can right now just notice any areas that perhaps you haven't really opened up to receiving life into yet. Any areas that you have any tension, any control, that you just haven't noticed, you haven't been aware of. Now is a really good time to drop in. Let your breath be the one that guides the way, holding the light. You follow with your awareness, follow your breath deep down within you. And choose to open new places that haven't yet been touched, haven't yet been brought to this light and awareness. And be fully present. Every single breath kisses you into life and gives you a present called now. Gives you a present with your name on it. Your gift. It's so beautiful. Just for a moment, just to notice what's being given to you. All of the energy of all life everywhere. All life that's ever been, all life that ever will be. The infinite expanse that life is comes to you and it touches you every single moment in that breath. It comes to you. We don't need to go out and reach out for it. We don't need to go and seek enlightenment, seek higher energies, seek God outside of ourselves. Look, it just gets delivered. Open the door, let it in. Let it really in. Really let it in. And this is your gift. So you might just want to anchor that into your body, presence yourself here in the physical, give yourself a hug, put your hands on yourself somewhere. And I'm just going to invite you, whether you want to do this or not is up to you, and say hello me out loud. Hello me, just for your own ears. Say to yourself, thank you for being here, me. Right now. In this life. Keep breathing, receiving the words, letting them land in. Say to yourself, thank you for being in this body right now. This physical, third dimensional, material, dense body. Thank you, me, for being here. This solid, this real, this earthly. Just give yourself that validation. It's no easy task, as I'm sure a lot of you will agree. No easy task being in this physical human form, being this dense, being earthly and human. It's not easy. So let's give yourself some credit and say, well done, me. Well done. Give yourself a little pat on the head, pat on the back, heart rub, belly rub, squeeze. Well done, me. Give yourself that beautiful validation and appreciation. Thank you, me. Excuse me. And even if you want to acknowledge, yes, I can see you, me. It's not been easy for you. Be really kind in your self-relationship. Because your relationship with yourself is your relationship with Source. We're going to go into that a little bit deeper. Be kind, be loving. I see you, me. I feel you, I get it. Only you know the journey that you've been through in your lifetime and what it's taken for you to be in your body and still here right now. Only you know that. And I want you to bless yourself right now and say, well done, me. I really see you. It's been hard, but well done, thank you. And we all sit in that same boat. We've all faced challenges. We have our own particular version of the story, but it's pretty much the same story. And that's what I'd like to really share with you tonight. I'd like to share that story as I've, I'm not going to really go on about myself, but I'm going to share the story of what I remember coming into this third dimensional form and what the point is and why we're here, why we chose this, what we've chosen, what's unfolding, and what happens next, and how we come into relationship with what's happening right now. How we stay strong, stay present, stay protected, stay empowered, and stay together as well. So that's all of that part's going to make sense once I kind of go through this story. And I tell you what, I would love you to, as I'm sharing this story, and I'm not going to go on too long, hopefully. It depends. We could go to the really epic. I don't know how existential I'm going to get. I'll try not to do it too much. Yeah, it could get a little bit cosmic. But essentially, the story that I'm sharing with you, I feel so energized and compelled to share with you, is again for that sense of validation, is again that sense of co-connection between us and co-creation between us and collaboration, that somewhere in your cells, in your body, in your psyche, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you remember it too in your own various ways. Okay, and as I'm sharing this, please share your whatever comes through for you. If you'd be like, oh my god, this was me, this was my story, please share it, because it's just so wonderful that we all do share a very, very similar story. Okay, and it's going to be fun to share this together right now, I feel. So how do you feel right now? Does it feel quite nice when you welcome yourself in? It's so important, my friends, to welcome yourself into your own life. And if other people didn't do such a good job of it for you, maybe you're still waiting for the red carpet to be rolled out, waiting for someone to acknowledge you, to validate you, to recognize you, through all the layers that you are, all the different energies that you are. It's a kind of a tall order to ask somebody else to do that when we're so busy trying to figure out our own selves, let alone try and figure out somebody else. So it's really important that we own responsibility and go, my job is to recognize myself. It's my job, I say job loosely really, kind of, it's my privilege, it's my gift to unwrap my own gift of me and discover myself and to know myself, to realize myself. And maybe when we were little, we thought it was somebody else's job to realize us, to validate us, to put us on the right pedestal, or to give us the right presence, or to commend us and appreciate us in certain ways, or heal us in certain ways, or whatever, to give us something. And actually, we can cause ourselves a lot of pain and others a lot of pain by staying in that belief mind state that it's somebody else's job to realize who you are. So I'm going to invite you, if that's, we're all doing that somewhere, some of us greater degrees, some of us lesser degrees. There's no judgment, there's just honesty to go, how much am I waiting for someone else to realize who I am, and actually own it, forgive them, forgive yourself, and realize right now in this moment This is your job to realize you. And if you're wondering what this has got to do with, 5D and, being immune, it's got everything to do with it. Okay, let me just say that right off the bat. It's got everything to do with it. Owning your power, owning your responsibility. And even that word responsibility kind of feels a bit old school, old hat really, a bit heavy, because it's not a responsibility to realize who I am. It's a privilege. It's a privilege for you to be in a physical body with a mind, with a heart, with a soul, with emotions, with the whole shebang that's been given to you. All of the, like I said earlier, the barometers, the intelligence systems, the truth compasses inside of you, all of your senses that have been given to you, your sensitivities, your awarenesses, your eyes, your ears, your tongue, your mouth, your touch, your breath, your words, your everything that you have, your empathy, your compassion, your knowing. You've been given every single tool going to have this opportunity to really take this gift in your own hands and reveal yourself to yourself. It's an honor to realize who you are. It's a gift, it's a privilege that you have been given. That's why you're here. You have been given this gift, this privilege of understanding who you are. And if we're trying to find out who we are by looking outside of ourselves, even looking in glass mirrors, that's not going to tell you who you are, my friend. It's going to give you a visual representation, but it's not actually accurate. It's not accurate at all. If you're looking to know who you are and figure out what you're doing here on this planet, in this world, what's your place, what are you supposed to be doing, who are you, you are not going to find yourself where you're not. You're not going to find yourself out there somewhere else away from you. To find you, you have to put your attention where you are. Does that make sense? So if any of us are still doing that, trying to figure out who we are, listening to all the stuff that we listen to, plugged into all the things that we're plugging into, trying to figure ourselves out, I would just say, let it go. You are your own guide, and I'm simply here right now showing up as like the representation for the gang, for all of us, and I know each of us take this in turns as well. It's like pass the parcel, who's going to talk today, and it's literally just like to put us all together in a space again, because when we're together we remember, and when we remember we're super strong. So any of you that have been putting your attention out there, maybe you've lost some of your awareness, maybe you've been plugged into the psychodrama that's going on out there. Maybe you're plugged into this story or that story, or this truth or that fake news or this lie or whatever, or this potential of what might happen. That's bad English, but you know what I mean, like some drama that's got you going, oh my God, what if that's real? Oh my God, what if that happens? Oh my God, it is happening. If there's any part of your awareness that's got stuck out there, then right now is a really good time for you to just reel it back in. Because what good is it doing you out there? You can check in with your body. It will damage your health. It will damage your mind. It basically is going to disintegrate your structure on some level, if not multiple levels. It will pull you out of integrity. It will fragment you, and then you become vulnerable. Does that make sense? Separation of yourself makes you vulnerable. Who's connecting in with this? Let's go back to the top of the thread. I'm not sure if I'm even seeing all of your comments. Separation from yourself makes you vulnerable. So what does that mean? So self, let's just go into a little bit of that. What is yourself? we have, you know, like with the Wi-Fi, we have 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and now 5G coming out. G stands for generation. So with us as beings, we have almost like those different levels of evolution, different levels of growth, and also kind of different levels of being. So with, I know with 2D, let's say 1D, it was phone calls on a mobile, 2D was text, 3D comes in, whatever else came in with, sorry, with 3G, I can't remember. You know, but with each new generation of phone or frequency, there was another potential opened. Like, who knew back in the olden days that you could have a phone that was mobile and walk around and you could talk to people without any wires? Who knew that was going to happen? But it got invented. Before that time, nobody would have thought it was possible at all. In fact, before the time of even wired telephones, nobody knew it was possible to talk to somebody else on the other side of the world and they would hear you. You know, it was beyond our conception. And this is important. I'm saying this for a reason. It was beyond our conception. We couldn't conceive it. However, somebody else saw that possibility and they made it visible. And it took quite a while for everyone around the world to go, oh, that's a real thing, that actually happens. Okay, I'll let that into my mind. Wow, I've just expanded somewhat in my perception. Now the same thing happens, obviously, we're using mobile phones as an example, but as each generation comes out, we go, oh wow, I can walk around on my phone. Oh wow, I can send text messages. Oh my goodness, wow, I can watch videos. I can talk, you know, live all over the world on a video. That we didn't imagine that was possible a few years back. So this is what happens as we move through the generations of something, you know, something's evolution. We see more potential. We understand that the potential of what's possible is way bigger than what we originally believed possible. And this is the same with us on a dimensional level. Now, a lot of people, in a minute, I really want to tell you the story of how I remember all of this coming into being. But I'm just going to quickly go through our levels of density. So we have our, like, what's 2D? 2D is, you know, words written on a page. That's two-dimensional. Three-dimensional is this multi, you know, I'm touchable. You can touch me. I'm real. I'm not just a flat word on a page. I'm not just a name, you know. I have come into form. So that's third dimension. The third dimension is like, it's literally the world of what we can touch, we believe in. And this matter, as you know, some of you might realize, matter appears to be solid, but in fact it's mostly space, it's mostly light. And actually when you look inside every single particle, what happens when you get to the core of every single particle, every atom, right down to it, are these little things called adamantine particles, which are teeny weeny specks of light. But they're actually massive, they're infinite. You know what happens when you split the atom? Massive amount of power and energy is released. So that's the amount of power and light and energy that's actually inside our cellular, or inside our cellular being, inside our material being. And that there's an intelligence there. We might not notice, you know, cavemen days walking around, that there's any intelligence there, but somehow we know how to procreate. Somehow we know that we get something and put it in our mouths and it feeds us and we know what to do. And that's just the very basis of intelligence. There's way more to it than that. Because the more we focus our attention on our third dimensionalness of what appears to be solid, the more we focus on it, the more we go into it, the more it expands, the more it opens, the more of that light is revealed to us, the more of that power is revealed to us, right? A lot of people have taken this stuff for granted. There's been many spiritual teachings. I mean, in fact, a big if not all of the spiritual teachings of history have been, that we know of, have been about transcending and ignoring this third dimension, and almost like saying the body, the matter means nothing, it's only materialism, let's transcend materialism, let's transcend money, let's transcend food, let's not need to, you know, have relationships, let's transcend our sexuality, let's escape from all of that, and let's just focus on the light, let's go right up the scale, let's go straight to the light. And I feel like it's really important to kind of explain a little bit of these dimensions so that we understand that actually that didn't really that didn't really work out. It worked out to a point and then it stopped working. It took us so far, but it wasn't the end of the journey. Okay, there was more journey. There's other things that we're all realizing now are actually really, really important, and that this third dimension is really quite something special, because without this body, you and I couldn't meet, we couldn't talk, we couldn't hug. I couldn't realize myself with all of these senses. You couldn't realize yourself. Let's come back to that. Fourth dimension, and by the way, I'm sharing this from a perspective of I've been a soul reader, I've been psychic since I was a tiny little kid, and there's a lot of things I've seen in reading hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and my constant connection I've had with the universal records and things that I've been shown, things that have been downloaded to me, and being able to see the energetic levels, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, and all the other stuff. So this is stuff that I've actually seen and learned and witnessed myself. I'm not sharing something that I've learned from a book, because generally I don't read them. So fourth dimension. Now this is it's a very interesting place, fourth dimension, and it's also it's a bit of a trap. Fourth dimension is the thinking realm, right? Thoughts. However, thoughts have also their own multi-dimensionalness. It's like a large area. It's a bit like the virtual reality. It's a bit like the internet, actually. You know how you'll see something on the internet and you'll go into it, and then before you know it, you've been hours and hours and hours, and you know, you're coming across all kinds of things that feel good and things that maybe don't feel good, but it's giving you an experience. And we kind of really get off on the experience of, you know, it doesn't matter what you get into. You might be watching movies and getting absorbed into the movies and identifying with the characters, and then you're thinking about them when the movie's over, and then you're imagining yourself in that thing, and then you want that lifestyle like that movie character. Or it might be that you're playing some kind of game, like, you know, like an Xbox game or something, where you're moving through the levels and you're fighting the bad guys and you're the hero, and then you get coins and you get rewards, and then you get more powers, and then you're fighting different bad guys. And you're having this experience that kind of gets a little bit addictive, and you kind of get so into that virtual reality that you can even forget that it's bedtime, you're hungry, you need to go to the loo, you know, that you're breathing. You've completely disconnected and almost forgotten that you are here, sitting here, because your mind has gone somewhere else. Does that make sense? And so fourth dimension is that place of, well, pretty much anything goes. What you think then becomes real. You can think of something you're terrified of, and then the way that fourth dimension works is it makes it appear in the fourth dimension as if it's real. It's like, there it is in your virtual reality that you've plugged into, that you think is real. Are you with me on this one? So fourth dimension is, to be honest, it's a bit like step away from this, take off the goggles, switch off the Xbox, and come back and go, what's real? Now, a lot of us forgot what's real. That everything out there is so enticing. This dimension of thinking and thought appearing as real and manifest in a holographic reality, like, oh my God, no, it is real, Tara, because it actually happened to me. Somebody actually hurt me. Somebody, you know, this war is actually happening. It's not holographic, it's real. Yes, our minds created that and put it in our reality. Okay, we now know law of attraction. Thoughts create things. Right? Fourth dimension, third dimension, they're working together. What you can imagine, you can conceive, you can have in your life, if you imagine it, well enough, and there's no blocks in the way. You can literally dream your reality into existence, and that works with fear, or that works with happy, good stuff, and we all know that to greater or lesser degrees. Some of us understand that a lot, some of us don't. We're all still learning, to be honest, because let's face it, who of us is a master of our own mind and our thoughts all of the time? How many times do our thoughts run away from us? How many times do those, we see something scary out there in the media or out there in the world, and we start identifying with it so much, and we let it get control over us, we let it terrify us, or we feel victims, or we feel helpless, because we've completely disconnected from ourselves. It's like the goggles are on and we forgot. Okay, so it's very alluring, it's very powerful, but with the fourth dimension, it might appear that there's these super beings and super villains and superheroes and super duper everything more powerful than you, and the good guys, the bad guys, the whole shebang. But actually none of it, it's real to the extent that when you're in it, it's real, but when you take off the goggles and switch off the machine, it's not real anymore, except the memories in your head, except what you continue to relate to after the movie is switched off. You know how you get that? Or you wake up from a dream and it bothers you all day because it wasn't very nice, and the dream ended, you're not asleep anymore, but the dream is still affecting you. So that's how much we get impacted by this, and then of course we're carrying it around thinking it's real, and we end up just creating the whole thing all over again. Okay, so it's very easy to get stuck in that fourth dimension and think that everything that seems to be happening, all right, take stock right now, everything that seems to be happening out there in the world on this big Hollywood movie stage is real. That people are dying of this and people are dying of that, and this is a threat and that's a threat and they're a threat, and this power and that superpower and that supervillain and that supervillain, and oh my god, I'm not going to name names. Each of you have your own set of bad guys and own set of good guys, and then is the good guy really the good guy, or is he the bad guy wearing a mask, and is the bad guy really the good guy when he's just done something else, and like maybe he's good after all, and it's that it's that really, what's real reality, you understand? Okay, now this is an initiation to get through, to understand that although it seems real and it looks real and it's terrifying and we freak out, actually there's another layer of reality going on. In fact, there's quite a lot of other layers of reality going on, but I'm not going to go through all of them. But the next level, the next evolution, right? And by the way, when you're only in third dimension and you're not aware of the power of your mind, and you're not aware that you just take everything for what it is for granted, you don't question, you don't think, it's just what it is, you don't understand your impact of your thoughts, of your anything, then you're not going to, what I'm saying about fourth dimension, you're just going to be like, oh, that's rubbish, that doesn't exist. Because it'll be like, having your Nokia 1210 or whatever it was called that could only do text, and I'm saying, no, you can send emails and watch videos on your phone, and you'll be like, no, you can't. Be like, well, that exists, and you'll be like, no, it doesn't. So you see what I mean by that expansion of perception. And so when you're in that fourth dimension, you might not realize that that's what it is, but we're just going to give it that label, okay? That's the current level of awareness on the planet right now. As you might notice, like 15 years ago, law of attraction wasn't such a massive thing. It came out a bit later than that, and it became really big. So our civilization, our collective consciousness has evolved quite a lot over the last 15 years to go, well, at least I know that what I'm thinking is actually, I'm manifesting it, and I'm somewhat in charge of that, to greater or lesser degrees. We understand our power within that. Now there's another layer of reality, the next one up, which is 5D, fifth dimension, fifth density. Fifth density to me, when I'm reading people and when I'm in it, is another layer of us. Just like your thoughts, like you can probably feel, if you put your hands around your head, you can probably, and you've been doing lots of thinking lately, you probably get a sense of the energy around your own head where it feels good, where it doesn't feel good, maybe how big it is, how strong it is. If you're, got a very powerful mind, you can actually feel it in your hands. You get a sense, just like the feeling you get when you pick up your phone and you've had it in your hand for a while. You can feel the energy of it, right? And that's what our head energy can feel like. It's that electrical energy of our mind, of our neural system. So again, beyond that, and we have multiple layers of our energy field, but we have this level called 5D, which is body. By light body, I mean it tends to be golden in color, golden light, if it's clear and switched on. Some of us are embodying it. I guess most of you actually are aware of it, if not all of you on here are aware of that layer of yourself and attuned to it, plugged into it in different areas of yourself. It's the frequency of absolute unconditional love. It is the angelic, it's the pure. It's like, if you think of angels, and I don't mean to associate angels with any particular religion or time, but I mean angelic in the purest sense of that, like just pure gold, love, light. Like heaven, that feeling where you just, hot summer's day, you're lying in the grass, the sun's on you, everything is golden, you've got the golden light in your eyes, and you're just in a state of total bliss. And everything is simple and sweet. And it's pure and it's tangible and it's real. And it's like, this is heaven on earth. I'm sure each one of you has said that at some point. This is heaven on earth. And in that moment, that's your 5D angelic frequency switched on, activated. You're experiencing it. You're feeling that layer of yourself. Yes, the sunshine is nice. Yes, the grass is nice. But it's not that. It's your ability to experience it and feel it. And then you putting your awareness on your experience, like, oh, this feels nice. And the more you feel into this feels nice, the bigger it seems to get, the more activated it gets, the more your angelic body, that pure love, golden vibration, starts to work. It's always there, but the moment you become conscious of it, it's almost like that's when it comes online. That's when it becomes switched on, ready, because you're in control. You're like, well, not in control, but you're playing now with this layer of yourself, with this body of you, this angelic body that you are. And the angels always taught me, because at first I started relating to angels, and there's many different, just like in fourth dimension, you've got the different levels of your Xbox game that can take you up and down, or the different levels of your power of thought and what you can manifest and how scary or how high it is. The angels, that fifth dimension has similarly, it's a beautiful, vast, massive area of space, if you like, or imagine going up to the 5th floor in the lift and getting out, and there's this new world. There's a whole world of that energy, and there's lots of different kinds of energy and beings in that space. Now, my experience of this is children that are not yet born live there. I've been there many times, connected with the souls of the children not yet come into bodies, who are in that beautiful light frequency, that angelic frequency, and it's like not like the waiting room, so to speak, not really, but like, I don't know, like the lounge, departure lounge, as they're preparing to come into physical form. This is also your inner child, that child spirit. That's a beautiful way of describing fifth dimension, is the child spirit. That pure, unconditional love that you had when you were first born and when you were little, before anything kind of messed you up. It's that feeling of your inner child, your child spirit, and it's the heart frequency. Unconditional, pure, easy peasy, sunshine love. No effort, no trying, no will, just is. Yeah, just is, just like the sunshine. And that was you as a little kid, and that is you right now, as your inner child still lives and thrives, hopefully, within you. So this is natural to you. It's a natural state. You all remember it. You remember what it feels like. Some of you have been away from it for a long time. Maybe you got stuck in fourth dimension with the thinking and the grown-up stuff, and maybe you just switched off and numbed out and said, you know what, I'm just, I'm going to watch EastEnders and drink something to inoculate me. Maybe you just switched off. Maybe there was so much grief and so much sadness at you coming into this world that part of you, that light dimmed, and you went, oh my God, is this it? Okay, so I'm going to come to that now. So I know that you all know that this, what I'm saying in my own, trying to put my words on it, is true. You feel it inside of you. You are the light, you are the love, you are the sunshine, you are the golden, you are the angelic. And you are here in a physical body, and you can activate, you can bring this online, you can presence it, and you can massively light it up and expand it by your own free will. No one can do it for you. No one can take it away from you. No one can overpower you in this state. In that state of absolute unconditional love, there is no power stronger. You are the golden light. It's like sunshine chases all shadows away. You can't touch the sun because it will fry you up, it will burn you. And for some people who've been in the sun too long, they can only handle the light so much, and then they have to move away. And it's the same with you. In your beautiful golden love light energy of the angelic, you are untouchable. But not when you've, no, I want to explain this part. It's like you don't bring your awareness out to it and hang out in that nice light vibe, 5 floors up. And this is really what, this is really important that we understand this. It is about the heart. 5 floors up is your 5th chakra, is that your 5th? I don't know, whatever. In your heart center, in that absolute love, in the heart of a child, in the spirit of a child, the kingdom of heaven is within, and all of that. Just being on the 5th floor and hiding out in there, as I discovered in my life, didn't work. I wasn't impermeable. It's not a way to be physically, emotionally, or mentally protected. It will protect you to a certain degree, but it means that, so what we're going to talk about coming up as well quite soon is about the embodiment of all of that. It's actually bringing that all the way into your 3rd density. It's like being the earth angel, if you like. Empowering your angelic field, your 5th dimensional field, into the physical, into the 3rd dimension, because here is where it's needed. Angels on earth, time to go, time to wake up. It's time to actualize yourself. Okay, time to realize what you've always known, that's always been true about you, and now wear it and own it and be it. Yay! And some of you are going, yeah, well, how do I do that? So I'm going to help you with that. I'm going to share with you what works for me and what seems to work for other people. You might find your own way, and if you want to find your own way, find your own way. I'm not saying everybody has to do it my way. I was given a way. It didn't really come from 3rd dimensional Tara, although it did, because I've got that wisdom inside of me. I would say it's just bigger than me, is all I'm going to say. Okay, I could say it was channeled, it came from the angelic, it came from source, and it really works. So I'm going to share that with you if you want to. If you don't want it, you don't have to have it. You can, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to say to you though, right? If something works, try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to have it. But, it would be silly to throw away something that actually works to say, I don't need that, I'll do it my way, because that's like silly and it's stubborn. So, and actually it's not even, I'm not even going to own it and say it's mine. It's for all of us, okay? For all of us to use if you want to. Whew, flipping heck. So how is that feeling so far? I'm pretty sure all of you are going to be totally understanding and on board with what I'm talking about. So Ella Kate Reeves is saying, energy fields and quantum flow can be strengthened to empower multi-dimensional chicks. Totally. You know what? I would love it if I can actually have some people come on here and share their you know, expressions of all of this as well. Shona saying, my teenager exactly. Daniela saying, I'm brilliant. Thank you, Daniela, and so are you. Yep, heaven on earth resonated with you. You get that. Yeah, everyone's getting the heaven on earth part. Time to rise. Glenda's saying, absolutely. Or time to arise. Yes, time to. I would say time's a funny thing to start talking about. That's another subject. But actually now being a wonderful opportunity to bring our consciousness and our angelic dimension, our angelic presence fully into the third dimension, fully here on earth, which is where we always decided it was meant to come. Okay, that's why you're in a body. Now I wonder, I'm going to tell a bit of a story. I don't want to rabble on too long, but who doesn't love a good story? Do you want to hear the story of incarnation, of how, what I remember, and this is my personal experience, personal memory of what happened when we created the earth and we came here. I don't think I've ever shared this publicly before. I feel like I've been an undercover alien. But actually probably most of you could tell because you are too. Okay, so who remembers this, right? And I've got that funny Cartman voice in my head from South Park. I remember. I remember. Who remembers? You might have your own different version. I know Tim Williams, if you're watching, you were talking about this jokingly. You were doing it jokingly on a post I put a few days ago, and I was like, no, I totally remember that. We were there together. So I remember being a part of a collective energy, or a collective consciousness rather, that was present as an energy in form, because everything's always in some kind of density, in some kind of form or other. If we can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. Like air particles are there, but we can't see them. Wi-Fi is there, but we can't see it. Thoughts are there, but we can't see them, right? They're just different densities of things that are in form, but we're not seeing. And then, of course, you know, that's deep. I'm not going to go there. So coming back, making it simple. I remember very viscerally, very, very clearly, being part of an energy consciousness that felt a huge inspiration. Maybe you could call it a directive, or an instruction. Was a sense of instruction was there, but the instruction was kind of a collective idea, a collective inspiration to see if we could manifest as far away. So as this energy of collective consciousness, you know, let's imagine a cloud of light floating around in an infinite universal space, in a void. But the void is conscious, and there's lots of different collective energy clouds, and it's all conscious, and we're all communicating, and it's all, you know, we're all in communication like a symphony of instruments in an orchestra. There's the universe, and there's the darkness, there's the void, then there's different energies of consciousness, all singing, all communicating, all talking. And it's like I can still hear the sounds of that. It's so very real for me. And I wonder how many of you remember that. I remember. So if you remember, say, I remember. And then there was this dream, this inspiration to go, right, how to almost expand ourselves, our experience of being a collective, you know, energy cloud, to being as far away or as dense as possible. I was going to say as humanly possible then, and yet still remember who we are as a collective consciousness in this universal orchestra of harmony and symphony, all being directed by this one universal, one source, oneness, isness. How can we, it's like playing hide and seek with ourselves, go and appear to be as solid and dense as possible, the opposite of what we were experiencing ourselves to be at that time, which was really super light, to be as heavy and dense as possible, as incarnate into the densest possible form, the densest possible material matter, and yet still be who we are, and then to go through an experience of remembering who we are, awakening and coming back to our original vibration, and therefore opening up this loop of greater potential within the universe for expanding and creating and materializing into form. Can you imagine that? So here am I, I'm part of this collective consciousness. Now, of course, I'm going to see it through my human brain, okay, as I remember this, and I'm going, okay, let's make an earth. Well, we are saying, let's make an earth. And we make an earth, and we make the galaxy, and we're putting all the planets around, or the solar system rather, we're putting the planets around, and each planet has a vibrational field to it, has an energy, has a sound even. And this galaxy, and we're bringing it all together, and we're forming it by the sense of it comes from intention, it comes from the dream, and then it comes into more densely into thought, and then it comes by visualizing it, and then through sound, and then through all these different energies of passion and love and desire. And the earth was born out of absolute love, a love to know the fuller expression of that which we are. A love to create is what then came in. To create, to act, to be active and part of this thing that we're creating. And then to give birth to something. To actually be able to not just think something into being, but to birth something into being. Tangibly. So amazing, right? So this collective consciousness, and if not all of you, if you know, some of you, if not all of you, were definitely part of that, whether you remember it or not. And we went, okay. And by the way, where I feel like I had a, where I remember this from was also then coming from a certain planetary system called Pleiades. And in that I have a light body, I have a much, it's like a step into the density, if you like. It's like from that collective consciousness then actually coming into form in this Pleiadian. I don't want to go into that too much. I don't want to put words on it really. It's just a beautiful experience of being in this, being a light body and feeling, multiple layers of and densities, really high tuned, high vibrational, 6 density, 7 density, 8 density, whatever. And then anchoring it into that light body. And then it was like, okay, now let's go denser, let's go physical, let's go 3D, right? So it's like reverse engineering, if you like. Instead of starting off at 1D, it was like, let's start off, the super high end, and then let's actually go right to the very beginning. So then it was creating this 3D planet and having this experience of going, right, let's get involved, let's come in. And I know, like some of you, like see if you relate to this experience, right? Coming into your physical body in this lifetime right now. Yes, of course, you're created from your mum and your dad, and you're born through your mother. But there's something in you that will remember that it's almost like a little bit alien being on this planet. It can feel, it's beautiful. A lot of us obviously were very excited about coming here. We wanted to come here. But there was also something that's like, whoa, this doesn't feel so good. Maybe I don't want to put my feet down. And it's almost like we've come in a hot air balloon, coming down from maybe somewhere you don't even know. Maybe you just have like a homesickness for somewhere like up. like I did my whole life since I was a little kid. I was just like, just take me home. What am I doing here? I'm on the wrong planet. Who put me here? I was like that as a kid because I didn't have all these memories in the same way that I do now. So you might have had something like that where you go, I just have this weird feeling that I want to go home, or that home is somewhere else. Okay? If you're feeling that, just say yes. We'll all join in together and see who relates to that and says, yep, I totally have that feeling that somehow this just doesn't feel like home. Okay, I think that's common to us. And it's not that we don't want to be here. Some of us don't actually. But it's like, whoa, this is really thick here. It's really heavy. It's really dense. It's like, and it's so for us coming in, it's been like a hot air balloon where it's almost like, you know, when you want to go up in a hot air balloon, you have to take the sandbags out so that you go higher. Well, it's almost like the opposite thing happened to us on our spirit level, if you want to use that word for our spirits, that we went, okay, I need to put sandbags on to my spirit to load myself up with something of density, something that's an equal vibrational match to the earth, which is dense, which is physical, you know, it's heavy to match the third dimension. Put on that heavy baggage, heavy sandbags, so that your hot air balloon of your spirit can come down and touch the earth. Now, some of you are still hovering, going, I'm going to stay up here where I've got a good view and I'm nice and safe. Put your hand up if that's you, or say yes if that's you, and you go, yeah, I totally relate to that. I am, you know, happy up here in my little bubble, in my bubble of reality, you know, whatever, life, death, whatever. I exist as a being of love, or I exist as a light. I'm just going to stay light. I'm not going to touch the earth too much. A lot of you will relate to that. It could be something that you're still experiencing. It could be something that you used to experience, but you've, you know, somehow transitioned and moved through that. So yeah, say if that's how you're feeling right now. And Kate's saying, yeah, you must. Ella Reeves is saying, yes, you must be dense. Yup. And Grace is saying, yup. Home. Yes. Glenda says she felt like she's in the wrong place. Tanya says, yes, a huge sense of not belonging and feeling the heavy energy totally. And Christopher is saying, I feel I'm here, but just. Jenny Sessions, yes. Vance Trimble, yes. So yeah, Deb Hayes, just laughing face. I don't know what was funny. Yeah, so you'll get, yeah, you're feeling that. So exactly, like, and Katayun saying you love the earth too much. Totally love the earth, right? We wanted to be here. That's why we are here. Some of us, when, you know, in our hot air balloon self, you know, your light spirit self that was not incarnate yet, we chose to say, I'm going to come down and be a human being, but I got to put the sandbags on to get me there. Because you can't, you know, you could still be around the planet and part of the planet, but you can't touch it, you can't manifest, you can't be physical, you can't eat food, you can't kiss, you can't make love, you can't give birth to babies, you can't smell the flowers, you can't have the incredibly rich experience that we have being in these human bodies. So there was a longing, there's a longing to experience that level of density. There's something, when we created the earth, we totally fell in love with her. We were like, she's the most beautiful thing I ever saw. I want to be there. I just want to love it. I want to be part of it. Now remember, the earth was born from unconditional love, right? That's how she's made. That's her frequency, is heart. And even, you know, some of you who like words, if you take the word earth and you take the H off the end and put it at the beginning, it says heart. Probably knew that already. It's the same. Earth is the heart chakra of our solar system. Okay, it's the heart organ. It's where we learn love. And what did we say earlier? That fifth dimension, that heart of a child, is unconditional love. It's 5D, it's fifth dimension, right? It's the same. So that's the matching frequency. Anywho, coming back, right? You got to put the sandbags. You go, I want to be on the earth. So we've all chosen, by the way. Some of you remember, say yes if you remember. Some of you don't remember. Some of you go, I didn't choose this shitty life. You know, I didn't choose all these bad things to happen to me. Take a breath. Somewhere in you, you did choose, because there's this law on earth and it's called free will. Okay, nobody is forced to be here and nobody is forced to go. You come here by choice and you leave here by choice. Take a deep breath and see how that feels. See what your truthometer says. You come here by choice and you leave here by choice, because you have free will. It's a gift. It's part of what makes you. It's not something you can take out. It's an integral part of you. Makes you human, makes you who you are. And to be a human being, it takes free will to be here. Nobody was pushed into it. And if you feel like that, I'm really sorry, and come back home to the truth. I know for a lot of us, we were like, you know, almost coming down this golden slide. Who remembers like sliding in? Whee! Some of us, you know, might remember it as a staircase, or, you know, just a portal, or like, you know, however you remember coming in. It was like, whee! Coming in from that high vibrational body down into the physical body to be born in your little baby human body. You know, so when I say in the beginning, welcome, I really mean it. It's not always easy for us to do that. Some of us might be going, oh my God, halfway down, like, what have I let myself in for? How can I get back up? That was me. By the way, I died in the womb for 2 months because, you know, well, technically, obviously wasn't totally dead. Technically, hospital declared dead. It was halfway down. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not sure this is a good idea. And then there's that part of you, you know, if you're a real warrior spirit, you'd be like, no, I so want to come down. I can't wait to get stuck in and I'm going to do my thing. Da, 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 da. And then others of us, like Katayun, such a, you know, a gentle feminine spirit coming in and going, I just want to be in nature. I want to be in that love. I want to be, you know, or that angelic energy. I just want to, you know, be that divine child, be that angelic. We all wanted to come in and we all had a part to play, and we were born in certain places all around the world. And for most of us, if not all of us, that was a very lonely journey, because it was like, oh, it's just us, we're on our own, there's no one else like us. Who remembers that? That feeling of like, am I on the right planet? Am I in the right place? This doesn't feel like home. And it doesn't feel like home because I can't connect to anybody else that's like me. Coming back to the sandbags for a moment. Sandbags are memories. It's like if you want to tell your computer to do certain tasks and to run certain softwares, you have to program it. And you might get a little memory stick, plug it into your computer, download or upload onto your computer the software, whichever way around it goes, downloading, uploading, whatever. And then your computer now knows that information and can run that program or run that software, run that story. Now we're the same. Our sandbags on our hot air balloon to get us down here are big bags, big sacks. Who feels like they've been carrying sacks on their back? Sacks of stories, programs, memories, installed into you, that you integrate and feel like it's true, feel like it's yours, feel like it's you, is a history, is a story, is past lives, is, you know, your family ancestral patterns, your family ancestral conditioning, who you were born through. You had to fit into that matrix, that program of the family that you were born into, the country, the culture, all of that. You had to genetically fit into it for you to exist. There had to be what's called a vibrational match. So you had downloads onto you as you were coming in from that super high light vibration into the density vibration. In your soul is the library of all these memories, right? So they're actually feel super real. And you got downloaded story. This is your DNA. This is your history. This is your pattern. This is your identity. This is your, you know, predisposition to this, illness or that illness, or this thinking or that thinking, or you were, you got to fit into this religious context, and this historical context, and this cultural context, and it's all programmed, hardwired in. So you go, yeah, genetically, I'm related to my parents. But in your light body, you're going, no, I'm not. Or, that's an example. That's going to feel true for some of you and not all of you. Or like, yeah, I look like a human. I talk like a human. I walk like a human. But actually, I feel really different. Okay, you're going, who can I see that's like me? Does that relate? Gabby, you're saying, I felt my son Christian's soul coming into my body. I did the same thing too when I birthed my son. We should talk about that. And Anya's saying, volunteer to be here on earth. Totally, you chose. You went, yeah, that's me. I want to do that. I want to go at this time, right now. So you've been here long enough to get familiar with the language and the customs and figure some stuff out and kind of anchor yourself in. You've got enough baggage, enough stories that have been validated and feel true for you to go, yep. I'm here. Some of us, however, right, let's get to the dimensional stuff, right? We go, okay, I got the sandbags. Then once we get here, we go, I want to take these sandbags off. I don't want to be this dense. I don't want to be this heavy. I don't want to be carrying all this baggage, all this conditioning, all this programming, all this story, that ancestral crap that I'm carrying. And be careful not to, throw out the good stuff along with the stuff that doesn't feel good, right? So it's not about getting rid of it, but we definitely come with that attitude of I just want to get rid of the baggage. Okay. Now, I don't believe we can really get rid of anything. Whatever we try and throw away, it boomerangs right back to us. And what's for us, we can't throw away. But what we can do, you can't throw energy away. You can't take a thought and throw it away. You can convince yourself you have by blocking, severing, cutting, but that's only an idea. You haven't actually, it's still there, okay? You can't just cut off an emotion. We think because we can cut off parts of our body that we can cut off other parts of ourselves. Well, we can't. It's just a misconception that you think you can get rid of anything. There's nothing to be got rid of. What's been happening on this planet now for quite some time, as all of you have descended down from your light bodies into the physical, anchoring, finding our place, and then going, right, the waking up part, the remembering who I am part. Some of us forgot, some of us didn't. Okay, we've come into these physical bodies with stories attached to them, but we know that we're not just that. But the whole trick is to not get rid of the, well, that's what I'm not the human, I'm not this story, I'm not the conditioning, I'm not that heavy burden, that weight, I'm not like my parents. Throw it away and go, let me just be in my light body. Some of you, if not all of you, by now would have figured out that actually doesn't work. That's not what the game is. That was kind of the old spiritual paradigm, and it's really not true anymore. And what it is to go, okay, this love that I am, this consciousness that I am, this universal creative genius force, inspiration, that incredible unity consciousness that I am, is going to actually move into the heavy stuff. So we're moving the light into the density, into the physical. That's the whole point. We didn't come here in our hot air balloon spirit selves to come this close to the earth and then say, I'm just going to stay here. I'm just going to, that stuff's too hard, it's too heavy, it's too dark, I don't like it, I'm going to detach and avoid and throw it away. Nor did we come here to say, well, I'm going to interact with it and try and fight it. Right? You can't fight your way through an illusion. You can't fight with a shadow. You can't fight with, imagine you're in your Xbox and you've got your goggles on and you're fighting some big monster, and there you are with your hand and a pretend sword. Somebody's watching you, like your mum's watching you or something, as you're playing your Xbox game, fighting your demon. And for you, it's super real. But from another perspective, it's like, what are you fighting? You're just getting yourself all worked up. You're putting all of that energy into fighting something that's not actually there. It just appears real. Does that make sense? Right? So you have to go, okay, am I going to live my life with my goggles on, fighting my shadow, fighting my fears, manifesting my fears by believing in them, and then fighting against them, and bringing this into context right now? Okay, what are you afraid of right now? What's appearing to be real on this planet right now that you're afraid of? What's making you go, I'm going to fight that? Not me. I'm going to knock that down, or I'm going to, fight that disease, or fight that illness, or fight that government, or fight that 5G tower, or fight, whatever, fill in the blank. Do you really want to put your energy there? Do you really want to be part of that dimension? Do you want to be part of that game? Or do you want to remember the game that you originally chose to play, which is to see how dense you could bring your light? And stay conscious, because remember, density is light. It's already light. It's just the journey of your consciousness to remember that. And so what does that look like? So from my perspective, that looks like looking at somebody who, in the media is represented as a bad guy, and going, I'm not seeing a bad guy, I'm seeing a soul acting out a drama on a stage. What an amazing soul to be able to do that role. What a beautiful soul. Must have taken a lot of courage in his spirit, or her spirit, to come down and play a role that seems to create such atrocity, such disharmony. Wow. Why? Why is that role being played out? To make people realize, somebody did this to me yesterday. It's taken a lockdown, Tara. He was like, it's taken a flipping lockdown for me to really go, okay, I'm ready to have my soul reading. I'm ready to choose something else. I'm ready to just, change. It takes pain, a great deal of pain for us, for most often, not always, to say, okay, I've had enough of this pain. What's the other option? Okay, I've had enough fighting. Fighting hasn't worked for centuries, millennia, I would even say, on this planet. Fighting hasn't got us our heaven on earth. Not ever, not once, not anywhere. Fighting just makes the battle get bigger. More people get involved. Different strategies of fighting, could be physical weapons one day and chemical warfare the next, or frequency warfare the next. Bacterial, virus warfare, It's like, how much fighting to see if somebody's going to be the overall winner of the 4th dimensional virtual reality Xbox game that's playing out on the stage right now, that's playing out on the surface of this planet. And we go, I'm going to fight. No, you didn't come here to fight. And it's like an initiation. And this I remember, my God, I remember doing this so many times. If any of you have anything like past life memory, we're not going to get into the time conversation, okay, about what's past and what's future. So we're just going to call it that for now, past life. So if you have a past life memory, I know I massively do. The amount of times coming in and going, I'm going to help you come through this initiation of 4th dimension. Help you come into that like a midwife, transiting through this rite of passage, this density, this bandwidth of energy, a bit like, you can go the atmosphere of the planet. When you come from space, then you have to come through the ozone layer, you have to come through that, into the gravity field, you have to come through those different layers of the planet. I don't know what they're all called. And, it's where, things start bursting into flame and all kinds of stuff happens. It's like you come through the field of the planet, the energy of the planet, and then you come down onto the earth. And so it's a lot like that, in a similar way for us coming through this 4th dimension. You've come from your angelic, you're pure, you're wise, you're tapped in, your harmony, your love, and you come through this 4th dimension and you kind of got to go, okay, what appears real, I'm just going to stay in the truth. I'm going to stay in what I know is that all of this is love. All of these, everything that's happening on this planet was designed. It was part of the creation. We have to go through 5D, 4D to get to 3D. You can't skip a bandwidth, a frequency range. You have to go through the whole frequency range, a bit like a string on a guitar, from the super high all the way down to the super low, right? It's one string. You can't chop an area out and skip it to get to the lower notes on the guitar string. You have to come all the way down. You have to slide all the way down the scale to get to those lower notes. And it's the same with us in our lifetime, in our conscious awakening. We move through the 4D, the mind, what appears to be real. And it can be a smooth and easy birth. It can be a smooth and easy transition when you remember who you are, you stay connected to the truth, you stay connected to the lifeline, that breath that we started off with. I know who I am, and you choose to just let yourself experience everything and keep moving through it. And because you're unconditional love, and that's your true vibration, everything that you come into contact with, you can love it. Something that appears dark and heavy and scary, love it. Something that appears, that you don't want, fighting makes it bigger. Loving it, it's like the golden Midas touch, turns into love. The moment you love it, you no longer have an issue with it. You're no longer in resistance, and you carry on sliding. Right? So you're just loving, 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 seeing the truth behind absolutely everything, that the dream of this planet is to manifest ourselves as physically dense beings of absolute unconditional love, and letting it, our journey, it's like being the first guy, the first, man or woman to kind of get the wire, the rope, and go across the cavern and hook it onto the other side. You had to do that deep journey to hook it onto the other side, so that then all the others can just slide straight in, like and then you can go back and you can come forward and you can go up and down the rope once you've got it there. But you and I and all of us have had to, we chose to come in and say, let us be the ones that, attach the guide rope. Let's open that channel. Let's build that road, if you like, or build that bridge from these high densities into the low densities. And so I just want to say, you're doing a really good job. Now at this point, it can see like the scariest time to go, shit, what if it's all for nothing? What if, those bad guys, whoever those bad guys are for you, what if they win? What if they get the better of us? What if this disease kills us? What if 5G kills us? What if wars, whatever. Just love that. Whatever you're perceiving in your mind, in your 3D goggles, just remember, I'm a living human being of absolute love in my divine sovereign power that I am. And all of that I'm seeing right now, it's a funny game. And sit back, and it sounds really counterintuitive, right? But instead of fighting, this is your invitation to sit right back into your game chair and enjoy the ride. Something is playing out right now that we've kind of always known, if you can feel it in your gut, like something you've always known. Maybe you feel it in the back of your head, or your spidey senses are tingling. You always knew something like this was going to happen. There's more and more and more and more light beings like you on this planet right now. Some of you have already been really amazing channels and birthed in the new light beings, the new generations, and there's quite a lot of them on the planet right now, and they are super high vibe. Whether they're awakened to themselves yet or not, they're super high vibe. So we've done a really good job, so you can just say, well done me. Some of you have had to come through all kinds of hell just to stay here and remember and to breathe and just to be alive, knowing what you know. So well done you. Just give yourself a pat on the back. Like, we've all done such a great team effort. And it's not over yet, but this bit here now, it's like, sit back. There's nothing, the less we get engaged with it, the more who we are comes online, comes awake. The more who we truly are becomes part of the bigger game. And that's just anchoring right? Sliding straight through the fourth dimension, right into sitting into this third dimension, going, right, unconditional love, here I am. I'm being unconditional love on this planet right now. I'm being who I truly am right now. I'm being the spirit of the divine child that I am right now. You can put your own words. You might be, I am God manifested right now. I am truth manifested. I am, whatever, child of the universe. That unconditional love, that I am presence, your spirit. And this breath, this lifeline, is your anchor, letting it anchor you physically deep, deep, deep down into your body, into the density, bringing this breath with your consciousness, like the breath guides you, that intelligence is guiding you, even still, right now, in this third density. There it is, you can feel it, you can talk to it, you can even say, hello breath, and have a whole conversation. Hello spirit, it's present, it's conversant, it's conscious, it's going to be right there with you, and it's going to be saying, follow me, come with me. Follow the leader, right? Follow the divine consciousness within you, the all that is consciousness within you. Move into your own vessel. Move your consciousness and that unconditional love presence that you are into every single cell, every brick of your house, every little bit of mortar, every crack, every cell, every atom of you. And it's a bit like going inside of you and just opening up all the shut doors, all the shut cupboards. Yes, monsters and memories might come out, but you just have to say, oh, I've had you trapped in there for such a long time. I'm sorry. Please come out now. I love you. Like, you don't want to get rid of that stuff. You want to just say, I love you to it. I love you. I love you. I've been hiding this darkness from myself. I've been hiding from the darkness. I've been trying to hide, darker, denser feelings. Just open all the doors and say, hello, I love you, come on in. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Move in with the love to every cell in your body. If you just were, so present, so grateful for the gift that you've been given, and go around to every single cell in your body and just kiss it. Oh, thank you. Thank you, breathing into it. Here you are. Have some presence, have some awakeness, have some life. Any of you that are sick and ill right now, that's because there's parts of your body that you shut off, that you tried to get rid of, that you tried to deny about being a human being, and you haven't wanted to deal with it yet. You haven't wanted to move in, bring the light in, bring the love in. And any illness that you're carrying in your physical body, you can totally transform. And remember this point. You came here by choice. You chose to be here. We even, if I remember rightly, chose our programs. We chose our DNA. We chose our parents. We chose where we would anchor our particular light spirit. Okay, like an acupuncture point on the planet, we went, that's my spot there. Ding, that's where I manifest. Ding. Sound effects. So your illness is actually an unconscious choice not to move into you, not to accept life. The moment you choose to actually fully accept your life and fully accept this gift and fully accept your privilege that you have to know yourself and realize yourself, and you take that on board with a gusto, you move in your consciousness, your love, your awareness. Anything dark, anything scary, anything dis-ease, low vibrational will be evaporated in that light, just like the sun evaporates shadows. Just like sun evaporates any kind of damp, smelly part of the garden, where maybe it's been shady or winter, and the sun comes and it's like all gets cleaned up. Life starts to happen again. Okay, this works with your emotions. This works with your mind. So a lot of people are struggling with their mental health right now because they cannot comprehend what the heck is going on. So many different storylines, so many different timelines, so many different versions, convergences, of souls battling it out in the 4th dimension on the planet right now. I mean, my goodness. Okay, so you can stay with your visor on, engaging with all of that, letting it freak you out, or you can take your visor off, switch off the machine, my friend. And to a large degree, I literally mean switch off the machine, step away from the internet. Notice what's triggering you and freaking you out, and go and open that part of your mind, of your emotional body, and just move the love in. Move your angelic self, that child of a spirit, your humble, beautiful, humble spirit, just moving in. Shining light where it's been dark, acknowledging, loving, forgiving, releasing, validating, appreciating, and having your self-realization moment. Where have you not been present? That's where the pain is. Where you've not been present is where the pain is. So anywhere you have pain, my friends, it doesn't have to be a long, complicated ordeal. It can be done so elegantly and smoothly, with so much love and compassion, and it takes a lot of humility, because the energy of love is totally humble, like water. I was going to find some water there to show you, but you know how humble water is. Flows into the teeny weeniest little cracks, and our love is just like that. Our breath is like that. So bring your breath, bring your love, bring your awareness to anywhere that feels painful. Open it up, go in, move in, embrace it, love it, claim it back. And this is like you know what I said in the beginning about when you are fragmented, you are vulnerable. So when there's a part of you thinking there, and a part of you thinking there, and a part of you feeling that, and a part of you, and all these different parts of you, that's fragmentation. That's you fragmented. So go to each part of you and get it back. Come home, me. I'm sorry. I tried to throw you away. I tried to cut you off. I tried to get rid of you. I didn't want this part of me to be me. I thought it was bad. I thought it was wrong. I thought it was stupid or ugly or, useless. I'm really sorry. I need you back. Please forgive me. Humble heart comes in. I love you. Doors to the unconditionally loving heaven on earth just spring wide open. And it's like, come on in. Wounded, separated, fragmented me. Come back in. Come back home. And as you do that, it's like sealing the holes. You could say the holes in your aura. You could say, sealing up some of us have like flipping massive wormholes open in our psychic energy, our mental energy, where all kinds of aliens and other beings are coming in, and other people's thoughts are coming in, and you're just under attack because you haven't owned the power of your own mind. So you need to move back in, claim yourself back, say, come back, me, move in the love. And by doing that, it just seals up the holes. Release your contracts with people. I'm really sorry. I thought you were more powerful than me. Because you've been so involved in the Xbox game. I am sorry. Fill in the blank, right? Who do you think is more powerful than you? Who are you scared of attacking you? Reminds me of that Avengers movie, with the Stark Tower and the big vortex and all the aliens coming through and all the superheroes. It's like we have those. We let all this crap come into our heads and convince us that it's real. So it's like, okay, just owning your headspace, owning that capacity that you have for this greater awareness. Welcome everybody in, love it, transform it, and break those contracts. Say, oh yeah, that's where I was. Whoever that you feel is like compromising your energy, even if it's a what, okay, if it's a what or a who, and I'm going to leave you to fill in your own blanks, whatever it is for you, that is a threat to you right now. Whether it's threatening potentially your health physically, your mental health because it's so stressy, your emotional health because you're feeling super upset and wobbly and not centered and strong, or whether it's occupying your psychic space in your dreams at night or your meditations or whatever. if there's anything that feels superior and more powerful to you, here is where, okay, at some point you've chosen to let it in. You have to own that. And then it's up to you to end that contract, tie up loose ends, and release what's not serving you. Let it go back to wherever it needs to go. And it will evaporate when you shine the light on it, I promise you. So you can say to those higher authorities that feel threatening to you, start a conversation, hello. And the moment you say hello to it, even in your mind's eye, hello, fill in the blank. I'm really sorry. You're going to own it and validate it. Okay, I'm really sorry that actually I'm scared of you. I've been afraid that you would, fill in the blank. Make me sick, make me poor, take my this away, take my that away, overpower me. Remember to breathe. Stay present. Stay conscious. Keep the energy moving. And you're going to notice, like, you're going to bring your attention to what it is that's you've believed, you've chosen to believe, and say, I'm sorry I chose to believe that you were more powerful than me. Or even if you don't remember making that choice, because often it was a subconscious one, I'm sorry I have believed, and I still believe, that you're more powerful than me, and that I'm helpless in this situation. And, say your whole story out. I'm afraid of dying, I'm afraid of my family, or for my family, whatever your fear is. Say it all out loud, get it all out on the table, so it's not inside your mind chewing you up, using like this your dynamo. It's like where all your energy is getting built up into this fearful story, because that's what's going to deplete your energy for living. It's going to stealing your energy, my loves. So you want to say, oh my goodness, I've been feeding all this energy to you. I've been giving myself essentially to you. I've been giving my attention, my fear attention to you, because I was scared that blah blah blah, and I thought that blah blah blah, and I thought that you were the boss, you were the more powerful than me. And once you've acknowledged that and got everything out in the open on the table, like full honesty, full disclosure, acknowledging what doesn't feel good, right? Instead of harboring it inside, making you sick, get it out on the table, out loud in conversation. And you're going to continue to stay connected to yourself and breathing, holding yourself while you do this, right? This is your self-realization, self-actualization, empowerment moment, right? This is where you transform darkness. This is where you come through that initiation. Oh, that was a level I was going off, wasn't it, on the past lives. This is where you come through that initiation moment of moving through the darkness, that rite of passage of your birth on earth. You're birthing your light body, birthing your angelic self on this earth. You've got to come through the dark passage. This is that dark passage right now, my friends. This is it. And you go, okay, it's all going to come out into my consciousness right now. And then you say to the thing that you're afraid of, please forgive me. Please forgive me, I gave you that much power. Without realizing, in my unconsciousness, you could say it on behalf of yourself, but also on behalf of, the other people on this planet. I'm so sorry, please forgive us. We gave you that power because we were ignorant. We didn't realize. We were busy doing something else. We were busy being a light being or something, busy, whatever. Maybe you just didn't want to face it at the time, and here it is on your doorstep. Suddenly, it feels like it's suddenly here, but it's not. This stuff has been building up. What we're seeing playing out on the planet right now has been building up for a long, 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 long time. This didn't all happen overnight. It looks like it, but it didn't. So we can say, please forgive me. I've been giving you all this power. I've been giving you, control over me because I've been afraid, by my fear. Please forgive me, I thought you were a big scary bad guy. Please forgive me, I thought you were real. Right? And that, feel it right now. Say it out loud. Please forgive me. Just imagine the worst thing in your mind right now. Whatever it is for you. Right? I'm sorry I thought you were real. I'm sorry I gave you my power. And then say out loud to yourself right now, or to this thing as if it's right in front of you, please forgive me that I gave you that power. Please forgive me, I thought you were real. And breathe. And notice what happens inside of you. Notice what happens to your whole vibration. It's like you just took the stuffing out of it. You took the wind out of the sails. You took the charge out of the particles. Because these words are super powerful. They're not related to any particular religion. Please forgive me. It needs to be this way around in my experience. Because you're saying, I gave you that power, now release me from that contract. This agreement that we made, that you would be the bad guy and I would be the victim, or you would be more powerful and I would be less powerful, or, you know, you would have this, this and this and I would be the weak, helpless, you know, ill one. Whatever it is. Please, you're just recognizing and you're saying, please forgive me from this contract. Please forgive me, I gave you that power. Please forgive me, I invested in you. And as the charge dissipates, you can see those particles are still there of what you thought was real. It still has a presence, it's still there. You can still feel it if you're a touchy person or a feely person. You still get a sense of it. Not quite gone yet. So then you say to it, that energy, actually the truth is, I love you. And you're not loving because your mind that has hated and feared cannot love. Your mind cannot love. So you're not saying I love you from my mind, because that'd be like, that sounds weird. Why would I say to, you know, XYZ evil bad guy, I love you? Well, I tell you why. Because love trumps everything. Love conquers everything. Your unconditional love that's true, that's who you are, come from that place. You know, you might use these words if it feels easier to say, by the power of absolute love that I am. Reminds me of do you remember that? By the power of Grayskull. By the power of absolute love that I am. See how old I am now. By the power of absolute love that I am, I love you. From that heart of a child. And it takes real humility. And it's only when you've said the sorry part and the please forgive me part and you're breathing, you're coming back to you and your truth, that you need to be in a genuinely humble place for that love to be real. Because if you're not there yet, you need to do some more forgiving. You've got too much baggage in front of your heart, and that's why you can't humble and you can't say I love you. Okay, because that's ultimately your truth. It's who you are. Why wouldn't you? All right, so that's your personal relationship with you, going, what baggage have I put in the way? What am I still investing in that's real that I don't want to say please forgive me, you know, because I'm all, you know, justified. You're still investing in a story. You're still being a victim, still causing yourself pain, and that's not who you are. So come back. When you've really asked for forgiveness, when you've really seen, you know, what's not working and said, you know what, I'm tired of fighting with you. I'm tired of being tired of you. It's not working for me. I want a different reality. I'm choosing truth. I'm choosing to come home. All right? Choosing to come home to the truth. Truth is, actually, I love you. Bad guy, evil, disease, whatever, 5G, whatever it is. I love you. And you watch it. It's like your Midas touch has just made something that seems dark lit up and go golden. And you say thank you. Because after all, it's not real. It's fourth dimension appearing real. And it's there because this is your initiation into manifesting the I am consciousness, the I am oneness, source, spirit that you are into physical density, into third dimension. This is the initiation you have to go through. And if you don't get it this time round, in this lifetime, you're going to have it, you will come back in at some other point, some other juncture, some other timeline somewhere, some other little gateway opens up and your slide opens up and you'll come back in, and you will get stuck at exactly the same point as where you left off from. You will be right back in it. So if you want to do it now, stay here. Choose to do it right now. If you're saying, you know what, I'm tired, I think I'll go back to heaven and I'll have a rest and I'll come back in at another time, you do that. Go and have a rest, come back in, and then you can, do this initiation another time. It's up to you. You get to choose. You can choose to say, I'm going to die now. Actually, this fear has got the better of me, And it's not necessarily your conscious mind, because some of you might be going, why would I consciously choose to die? Well, we know why. Lots of people consciously are choosing to take their life. Or too much. The stronger these birthing contractions are, the stronger the awakening, the stronger the darkness appears to be becoming, the more people are going, I'm checking out, I'm not ready. Bless those souls, because they're part of us. We're a collective consciousness. Bless those souls. They're our brothers, they're our sisters. They will come back another time. Don't you worry about it. They're not gone forever. Okay, they just went, you know what, now is not my time, I'm good, I'll come back. For those of us that are choosing to stay here, now is your time to turn up your love volume. Now is the time to get humble, because humility doesn't need to fight up against a wall. It will just go right through the cracks and the wall will crumble. Okay, that humble love, that humble truth. You don't need to wave any flags or bang any drums. It's like, I love you. Enemy. Khalil Gibran, right? He says, and God said, love thy enemy. And so I obeyed him and I loved myself. Right? Love thy enemy that you are experiencing within, the fight, the struggle within, the sickness within, the disharmony within. Love it as it appears on the outside, and you watch it completely dissolve and crumble. So not only will you be making that fourth dimensional initiation, gliding through your birth canal rather than fighting with every little shadow on the wall as you come through. All right, just going, okay, come back to the simple, come back to the heart of a child. Love it. Say thank you to it. Thank you for this initiation. Thank you, life, that I get to have this experience. Thank you for this amazing show. I get to be part of this transformation on the earth at this time, that for the first time ever in the history of this planet, the earth comes into her true resonance of absolute unconditional love, with all of us there with her. We anchor the fifth dimensional frequency, the unconditional love frequency, consciously on this planet. That's never been done before. We are on a planet of love, heart vibration. Her name is even like heart, with the H at the end instead of at the beginning. It's a clue. And we are unconditional love, and that is, if you can feel that, that's true. That's what in the beginning we came here to do. And what's happening as we land in and we do that is this feeling of exuberant celebration. I feel so excited. I'm just like, okay, yeah, there's still a few things, and I'm going, oh gosh, that would be horrible if that actually happened. And then I'm going, okay, no, that's my fear. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for dissolving and not being real, and thank you for pretending to be a bad guy. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you for this, initiation, because this is me learning about my power. Like, you don't get to build muscle until you actually hit the resistance, right? The resistance is the thing, or in the muscle, in the exercise, is what builds the muscle. It builds the strength. This is all to build strength. It seems like a terrible bad thing that's happening, and it's actually your character building, strength building exercise. It's your initiation into the third dimension as an angelic, unconditionally loving being. Right? With your fifth dimension memory that you're an angel, you're a divine child. You understand? I know that you're totally getting this. Mary, Catherine, yay! Love you, Mary. Jenny Sessions is saying, I know my mission calls form to keep on walking while searching for a comfortable synthesis of energies within my physical container to resonate in a coherence on a multi-dimensional level and be able to feel peace and relaxed enough to be a conscious hollow bone and dance with spirit for the benefit of all spirit in formation. Totally. I just, you know what, I absolutely love what you're sharing, guys. I love your comments. It's beautiful because you're feeling it, right? We're sharing this moment together. We're sharing this remembering. I'm just telling you my version of the story, how it looks through my eyes. You've got your own version of how it looks through your eyes. But you know what? When we share our stories, we're just like, yes, the pool of our collective consciousness, all our little droplets coming together. We're not on our own anymore. It used to feel like that, but it's not true. That was part of the game, part of the initiation. We know on a higher level we've never been alone, but we've certainly felt it on this low, dense vibration, on this low, dense, earth. But now that we're bringing, fully engaging our full power, our full love, our full consciousness into the physical, and not just, on a surface level of what's going on the surface, but deep, deep, deep down, like I said, into every cell, into every particle, seeing the truth and the light that is. And seeing the beauty of the void as well, like it's not all light. There is a darkness, and that darkness is the exquisite universal night sky. It's the empty void of possibility. It's the womb of creation. It's the silence in the song. It's unbelievably, exquisitely beautiful. It's the divine feminine and the divine masculine, and it's in a different incarnation. It's incredible. So this is a time for us to really celebrate. This is a time for us to really sing. Now, I think I've covered energizing, raising your vibration. Right? The idea is to bring this physical matter into a higher state of being, a higher state of presence, a higher state of love. You move your light body into the physical, ding, and activate it. A bit like screwing in a light bulb into the socket, right? That's where you've been, and now you just switch it on, ding, and you get lit up. And there's fireworks going off somewhere, and we're all lighting up. Okay, this is that time to just recognize yourself, to realize yourself. And as you recognize yourself and you light up, you get to see the others lighting up around you. And it's like, wow, it's like Christmas, all the fairy lights coming on, like, yeah. And just bask in the beauty of the awakening. Bask in the beauty of this, what can be a very blissful birthing for us as humanity. Some people are really going to flip and fight and struggle all the way through. You might need some medical intervention. You might need some forceps, or something else. But ideally, you want to have a blissful birthing into this next level, next density, next generation of evolution on this planet at this time. And those of us that are doing that, congratulations. Those of you that are still making your way there, congratulations. There's no judgment, there's no time. It's just like your time, your realization, your time, your moment. You've already chosen this. It's already a done deal. It's already a done deal. And remember what I said, that just as you chose to be alive, you also choose when you go. I know, it doesn't matter what happens on this planet, I know I'm here for a much longer time, and I know that my body is changing density. See, third dimensional matter without consciousness represents as a certain level of solidity. Third dimensional with consciousness, with unconditional love, we light up. We literally start lighting up. Some of us might see it with our eyes, some of us don't see it with our eyes, but it doesn't mean it's not happening. It's happening. we're lighting up, and our density is literally physically changing. The physical anatomy, physical structure is changing. And the more you love everything, the more light your body will become. And the more integrated and on this earth you will be as you harmonize with the planet's own signature vibration of unconditional love. We will be, in total harmony and synergy with the earth. That mother-child bond, totally in harmony with this Mother Earth. You are completely held, loved, safe and protected at all times. Now what you do with that is up to you. It's in your hands. Your self-realization, realization is in your hands right now. Your birthing is in your hands right now by what you choose. And it's also like the more you sit back and go, right, let's just watch this show unfold and enjoy every moment of it and be like, wow, that was amazing. Good job. I love you. What a great, you know how we love to also, we love the bad guys in movies because they're so bad, we kind of love them. You love everybody, love the whole lot. And you definitely, your physical body will be strengthened, your mental body, your emotional body, your resilience to any kind of contaminants will be like so much strengthened. And then knowing that you're not alone and you are not only connected to the source of all that is, you're connected to a beautiful, seemingly very dense, heavy, beautiful planet of love, and you're also connected to everybody else as well. You are not on your own. We are in this together. It's an amazing adventure. And by the way, by doing this, there's so many. I said about the kind of the departure lounge of the heavenly angelic field of the angels and the babies that haven't yet been born. So many of them are going to be sliding through, when we hook up our anchors into the 3rd D and go, right, we established connection, Houston. Then it's like, whee, and they come. All those new souls sliding in who are of even higher vibrations, who have even higher vibrations, anchoring the next, seeding, those next levels of evolution that we've all planned for. We're all part of the creation of. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful time. So I get a sense that, this has been helpful, or at least nice to kind of share the party and remember together. And for some of you, you might just be like, that's way off. I've kept it mild. I've told you the light version. I tried to not be as cosmic as I could be with it. But that's the reality. For me, it feels like, I feel like I've just been a midwife lifetime after lifetime. It's like all these codes within me to help people move through these initiations. It's like I've done it again and again and again and again. So if any of you are getting stuck, this isn't, by the way, a live to advertise myself, but if you're stuck, reach out. There's tons of us. There's any amount of people on here. You got something that can help, share it on here, guys, because we all have incredible gifts, incredible tools, and it's come and get them, basically. If you want help, come and get it. So I'm not quite sure what else to say with that, other than it's been a total pleasure being with you. It's been 2 hours now that we've been on here. How are you feeling? I'm just going to read some of your comments. Grace, you saying yes, when we've not filled with ourselves, other energies can enter. Yeah, like an empty house, all the squatters move in. Nadia, thank you for watching. You're saying thank you for being here. Robin saying hello, love you. Yasmin saying, I love the picture of all this, anchoring unconditional love beings to the heart of it all. Yes. And and Abby Flynn saying, we love you, Tara. I love you so much. I do, honestly. It's like we're kin. And by the way, what happens is, there's a whole, there's so many layers to this, right? And obviously I can't explain all of it, and we don't need to. But there's such a symphony playing in our universe right now. There's such a harmony vibrating as these old stories, what we were saying, 4th dimensional stuff it is getting transformed, and it's like dissonance coming into harmony, and it just gets sweeter and sweeter and sweeter. And as we do that, the whole potential and possibility of not just our planet but that solar system, and then, you know, the ripple effect throughout, the ripple effect that's happening, there's such a bigger game happening, by the way. So when I say we're not on our own, literally we're not on our own. This whole place, this whole earth is quarantined. So it's so mad right now that we're all quarantined, because the earth has been in quarantine since the beginning. Since the very first conception and concept, the dream that we had of creating an earth, since her conception and since she was born in this universe, she's been in quarantine. You might be like, what? She's been in quarantine because we knew that whilst we come into formation, whilst we are still in the birthing, evolutionary, gestational phase of true humanity, we haven't got there yet. True humanity is unconditional love on earth, right? That's what it's for. Everything leading up to that is gestation, is like the baby in the womb, still developing, still growing. So we might be looking at the planet and go, oh my God, what is this? It's still in formation, it's still growing. It's not what it looks like when you come out. When the baby's born, it looks different to how it looks inside. The reality appears different inside the womb to how it does outside of the womb. We've been in quarantine. We've been in the womb, in gestation, in a veil of not knowing, in a, you know, like a bubble, it's kind of a protective bubble, so that what's happening on our planet doesn't impact everywhere else, and also so what's happening everywhere else is not impacting our planet. So it's like, you know, that we can't have all the other intruders coming in and poking their hands and fingers in, only those which have been invited, like to be part of the gestation midwifery process of humanity. Some of you get into alien, you know, stuff, might go, well, they're bad guys. Well, no, they've been part of our gestation to who we are now. It's really important. You have all ingredients in there, all seeds in there to create what we are. All the different dimensions, frequencies, everything has all been there for a reason. And as you know, so we've been in a protected space. There's a lot of other energies that are holding this sacred space for the earth at this time right now, as we get closer and closer and closer to this new birth, new earth. It's not really new earth, it's the earth that's been designed to come into her, you know, the light switch on, come into her state that she was designed to be in. There's a lot of holding, loving, supporting going on by other universal energies and forces and densities of beings. It will not be forsaken. It's not all going to end. It's not like the Armageddon that we're maybe expecting it to be, and it's all going to be over and it was all, you know, worth nothing and it's all going to be destroyed. That's never, ever going to be allowed. That was never part of the game plan. We didn't choose it. Do you remember? And if we didn't choose it, and we're not choosing it, it's not going to happen. And it's the end game. It's like it's already written. It's not going to happen. There's so much love around this planet. It's so important what's happening on this planet. Our little personal missions seem insignificant, but they're actually super important as well, of what's happening. So eventually, when the baby is ready to be born, it's like everything gets let go of. Okay, we're ready to go. And we will go through that birthing, well, we're in it now really, the initiation, where it all looks dark. Things might even go dark. I mean, there's talk of power cuts, there's talk of water being cut off, there's talk of internet being switched off. We don't know any of that stuff could happen. And if it does, that's when you surrender and you rest and relax even more. Surrender. Close your eyes. Focus on within, go into your heart, I love you, me, be in a space of love and let it unfold. You don't, if you panic, it's going to be like a birth complication. Don't do that to yourself, you don't need to. Just stay calm. in that birthing canal where it's all dark and you don't know how it ends and you don't know where the twists and turns are. You know, one minute you're going that way and then you're going that way and then you're going that way, and you know, you're just being birthed. You are being birthed like a baby in that cervix, in that birth canal. Stay soft, stay gentle, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. Be like, wow, yeah, I always knew this was coming. And you will come out, and the earth will come out of quarantine because she will be birthed. And it's a bit like a birthing mother as well, you know. It's not like you're suddenly exposed. It's no, bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. Because we're so vulnerable. This is such a vulnerable time. It's not suddenly all the, you know, everything's going to be exposed. And no, it's very careful. It's very planned pregnancy. It's a planned birth. There's a lot of doulas. It's all good. So if this feels good to you, and that makes you have relief in your heart, and it makes your stomach be able to digest again, and you can, like, your brain stop worrying, and you can be like, oh, thank God, then that's your truth. Okay, come back to what's true. This is a much bigger game than what appears to be happening on the planet right now. It is all in hand. The divine parents have got it covered. And if we can just be as humble and gentle and surrendered as possible, and loving, and just, you know, sing to yourself, sing to your friends, give thanks, give praise, give acknowledgement for the journey. Like, yeah, good job, man. You know, I see you, I see me. You know, let's enjoy this moment of, like, you know, just before the big awakening. And like I said, that awakening, it's not going to be like all of a sudden. No, it's a very gentle process. Mother's birthing, gently being exposed back out to the world. Everything's still tender, everything's still unfolding. Growth is still happening, you know. So I just want you to know that, just really, really clearly reminding you of what you already know. You are being midwifed through this process by much bigger forces. You are totally loved, held safe and protected. And you can really power yourself up and then fully enjoy this and maximize it, and just come back home to the love that you are. So it's been a total pleasure. I feel like I've really talked for a long time, but it's been really wonderful to share this with you. And Rich Mallet, hello my old friend, he's saying, yeah, we all know it's great to be reminded. I tell you what, we all need reminded, and then we need to remind ourselves, and then we remind others, you know. And just, you know, if there was ever a time to, like, come out from hiding and let people know what you see in them and who you are, you know, without shoving it down their throats, obviously, but just revealing yourself and helping others be validated and seen, and, you know, go for it. It's like a party. Enjoy this, and share it with each other. Faith saying, thank you so much, Grace. I love you too. Yeah, we're all in it together. So much, much, much love, all of you. If I haven't said your name and you've written something, I'm sorry. I'm kind of just scrolling up and down. Yeah, I can see all the comments. I'll read all the comments afterwards. I can't see them all right now, but if you've said something and I haven't read it out, I'm going to come back and read it. And keep sharing the love, my friends, and let's stay connected. I love you so much. Mwah! Thank you for being here. See you soon.